Right. Welcome, everybody. So some of you may be seeing this live, and some of you may be seeing this as a
On
recording.
recording.
Yeah.
So I'm Denise Mend,
Paul Mend.
and we are leads at Growth U. So many of you will have seen our webinars before and know that you will go away with some actionable steps that will help you become more in who you want to be when you watch these webinars. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so what are we talking about today, Mr. Mend? We're doing these weekly, covering models that we talk about at Growth U.
Absolutely. We
every
talk about them
week.
on our practicum calls. We talk
Mhm.
about them on our mastery calls, our mastery advising calls. So this week, we're talking about vision. And why do we need to create a vision?
What is even a vision? What is it even? So
A vision, go ahead.
and just as a reminder, for those of you who have not watched before, Paul was a high school teacher, so educator for over 30 years, taught psychology for over half of his teaching career. And I think that's part of why we're here is that, and I am a physiotherapist, so we both love to educate and empower people. So
we both coached.
Yeah.
Sports.
And
Yeah.
so many of you who have, who are here in Growth U, who have done vision work, have been athletes who have, really worked towards a goal. So what does a vision do, Paul?
So vision gives us a target, right? Our brain is a cybernetic organism that focuses on different things. And we talk about at Growth U, the 4 laws of focus, right? What you focus on, you find. What you focus on grows, seems real, and you focus on, you become. And we know that there's an area in the brain from a psychology perspective called the reticular activating system. And I've spoken about this before if you've watched one of the other webinars. So the reticular activating system, or the RAS, as we shorten it down a little bit to an acronym, is a area in the brain near our midbrain that acts as a filter for incoming signals into our brain. Anything that is sensory receptors, so it could be our eyes, could be our ears, our mouth, taste, all these things come into the brain. And when we set a vision, that reticular activating
Say
system,
that 5 times
fast.
fast. No, to 5.
Just
have
5,
to do it
3.
5.
It really gives our brain a target. And so whatever vision that is in any area of our life, what are the areas of our lives that we can set a vision in?
Oh, there are so many. So they talk about domains, right? So we have all of these domains in our life that we have different roles. For example, we're parents, right? We have 2 adult children. So I'm a mother, Paul's a father, right? That's a role. That's an area in our life that we have relationships. So we both have visions around who we want to be in our relationships, in our family. But you could also expand that out to relationships with your friends, your coworkers, people that are new to you, strangers, people in your community that you haven't met yet, right? When you start to think about the different domains in your life, you can have a vision in every single one. So really, the numbers are almost infinite when we start to think about it in that way. But we really
Career,
break it down
health and energy,
to major categories. So what are the major categories that we look at vision in Growth U?
So relationships,
yeah,
career, health and energy, right? Our fitness level, our wealth mindset, and
influence.
And thank you.
Yeah. Mindset. Mindset
Yes.
is actually our mindset vision. What are our mindsets around? And again, this is one that you could expand infinitely. What do I believe? What are my mindsets around all the things in my life, and how do they influence how I show up and what I do unconsciously? So talk a little bit about that, right? So the vision is a target for my cybernetic brain, for that reticular activating system to really discipline my focus on what I want. What do people often do?
A lot of times we focus on what we don't want. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want to feel this way. And when we put that in our brain, that creates a new target, and is what we don't want. And when you focus on what you don't want, unfortunately, you usually get it.
Right. And a great story is the mountain biking example, or biking for that matter.
So
right?
If you're going down a single track trail and you're cruising along and you're like, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree,
you're probably gonna hit
Probably
the
gonna hit
tree.
the tree. Don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock, hit the rock.
Yeah.
Focus on the trail. I'm on the trail, I'm on the trail, I'm on the trail. I don't see the rock, I don't see the tree.
Mhm.
Usually you make it down the trail.
So you have a really great story about focus.
Do I?
You do, you have many, but the one I'm thinking about is the video that you used to show your students about the basketball.
Okay, this
right?
famous psychology experiment.
Yeah, and if we had time, we would show you this video, but
I'll
look it
explain
up.
it.
Look
I'll
it up.
explain it.
Mhm.
So 2 teams with a basketball, one basketball. There is a team with black t-shirts on and a team with white t-shirts on. And at the beginning of the video, you're asked to focus on the number of passes that the white team makes. And so I used to preface this in my class and I'd say, I'd make it a gender competition. I'm like, the guys seem to be better at this than the girls, and the girls would be like, oh, we're gonna beat them. And so they would focus, like everybody would just focus on these white shirts because they wanted to
Get the
beat
right
the other
number of
gender,
passes.
right?
Yeah.
So you show the video ends. Okay, how many passes did you see? And answer, I think, was 15. So kids are like 14, 15, 16, 17, some counted more and some counted less. And I'm like, oh, you're close, you got it. All right, that's it. But really what I want to know is how many of you saw the gorilla? And the kids would go, gorilla? What gorilla? And then I'm like, you didn't see the gorilla? And there'd always be 2 or 3 kids who had maybe seen this video before and were waiting for it, or just happened to see it, right? Because their focus wasn't totally directed towards the team in the white t-shirts that's passing the basketball. So 2 or 3 kids put their hand up and the rest of the kids are like, there's no gorilla. And then you play it again and they're like, you changed the video. That gorilla was not there. Because the gorilla, being black as he comes out, and he beats on his chest in the middle of the video while the
He's so hard to miss when you know he's coming.
And when you show it to him again, they're like, there's no way that was in the video, because they didn't see him, because the reticular activating system was filtering white team passes, like team in the white shirts, passing the ball back and forth, and they did not see the gorilla. So blind spot, like a scotoma.
Yeah, so this is a really important lesson in that our brain, and this is why when people are interviewed after a crime has been committed, or somebody is interviewing and asking witnesses for their statements, and everybody will see different things
depending on what they're focused on.
Depending on their focus.
Absolutely.
So this is why a vision is so important, you guys. A vision gets your brain working for you, and what you want, and who you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have. When we focus on what we want to be, do, and have, your brain starts to work for you versus keeping you safe and the same. And talk a little bit about the unconscious mind and conscious mind and how they communicate.
So our conscious mind is, aware of things that are happening around us right now. Our unconscious mind is running on patterns and habits that have been with us for, depending on how old you are, for me, it's now 60 years worth of patterns and habits.
Not quite.
A couple months away. But all those patterns and habits that have been created from all the experiences that I've gone through, and those patterns and habits are expectations. We actually talked yesterday on a call about the pattern recognition monster, right? That little voice that shows up. It's like, don't do that, right? So our habits and patterns don't want to change.
Yeah.
Because consciously we're like, oh, I want this in my life. I want to change. I want to become this. And those old little monsters are going, don't do it. It's scary out there.
When you hear, and I know Jen has worked on some of these programs before, and we've talked about this, when justifications or excuses start to come up and rationalizations in your brain, and those of you who are watching on replay, I know that all of you have experienced this, that little voice in your head that goes, oh, wait, you can't do that. Or that would be too hard. Or no, that didn't work last time. So why would you try now?
That's right? The old OPM, I called it, the old pattern monster.
The old pattern monster. So those little, the brain tries to keep us safe. Yes, it's very annoying, right? It's so annoying. And just the realization that's what's happening is so powerful, because when you start to recognize that, you can go, oh, no. I
see you.
I hear you. And pattern, no, you don't have power over me.
You don't serve me.
No, you are not in alignment with what I want. And so when that starts to pop up, we call that deception, right? Those are patterns that are fighting to stay alive and fighting for dominance. So when you hear those, you celebrate, because that means those patterns are feeling threatened. Because if you say it enough times, right? If you talk about what you want and you say it enough and you repeat it enough, I am a powerful leader, right? I am, the leader of an organization that empowers millions of people. When you say these things enough, your unconscious brain starts to pay attention and go, oh, well, maybe they really mean it. And then you start to see opportunities arise. But talk a little bit about, as we're finishing up, Paul, what kind of things should a vision statement have to make it powerful?
So really kind of emphasis words, right? Like that Denise just demonstrated, like I am powerful, I am statements and really energetic words, right? To support us through those deception or resistance words.
And what tense do we usually write them in, the vision statements?
The vision statement's already done. We've already finished it. Like we've already accomplished this. And so our brain is like, oh yeah, we've already done this. Even though it's not done,
tense.
it's done.
Yeah.
Right. Because once you set that vision and you recognize those old patterns when they show up, that's the win, right? That's when you celebrate. It's like, no, not anymore. Because I'm creating this in my brain now. You're creating that new neural circuitry to become who it is that you want to become.
So Jen, yes, I'm so excited to be Canada's best personal trainer.
Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful vision statement, right? I am Canada's best personal trainer. And so the more you say that to yourself, Jen, yes, it's already done. And that is what we want you to take away the most today, is that focusing on what you want, focusing on who you want to be, this is the magic. This is getting your brain to work for you as opposed to keep you the same. And it's not easy. It's simple. It seems very simple. And it takes consistency and it takes work over time.
Yeah, because those old patterns never go away.
Yes.
They're always going to be under the surface level, and they're always going to be trying to get up at you. And if you're tired, thirsty, hungry, any of your physiological needs are not being met, they will hop on the scene and go, see, I told you so.
Yeah.
So
how long do we want to work on, before we're going to probably start to see different results or new results or different feelings?
30, 45, 60 days, 90 days, right? So it's just, you have to be consistent, right? Denise mentioned consistent. It's repetition over time.
And so this brings us to, if you want to work on some very powerful visions that get you to a really productive mindset and feeling about yourself and what you want to get done in the world.
We have a program coming up.
We have a program coming up, and I'm just going to silence this because that always comes up when I'm doing a live call.
Our kids always seem to know.
They know.
They do.
They almost.
All right.
Yeah,
so the program
100%.
coming up,
the program,
June 27th.
it's called Activate. So we're just going to
Click the
hit
link.
return. The link is in the comments, and we will add this. Anybody who is watching this on replay, we will add the link to the recording that we send you.
Yes, and if you watch this and you're like, hey, I want to do that program, reach out to us because we might have a coupon for you to discount that price a little bit because you watched this video.
Yes.
So if you watched it all the way through and you're hearing this now, send us a little message and we'll send you a little
We'll
coupon
send you
code.
a little promo coupon.
Yeah.
But we would love to have you join us for Activate. It's a 30-day program.
It is.
30 days to get to a more productive mindset. And it's getting really to harness the power of your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your energetic brain. So it uses so many beautiful models in Growth U. And if you want to learn more, please reach out and let us know.
Reach out. And our good friend Annette Forsyth.
Yes, we'll
gonna
be
be running this program.
advising it.
Calls will be on Thursdays. So there'll be live calls, 5 of them, starting the week of June 27th.
Yeah.
June 27th, I believe, is a Monday. So
Yes.
it looks like the 29th or 30th would be that Thursday for the first call. They'll all be recorded and you'll have an opportunity to either watch them live and catch them live or access them after for the information.
So if you find the content that we provide valuable, we would love to have you
Absolutely.
to dive deeper into these models. So Jen,
Thanks
thank you
for joining
so
us
much
live.
for giving us a great real-time example of a vision statement. That was so good.
And to
We'll see
everybody else
you
that watches this on the
next week.
recording, thanks for checking out the recording, and we'll be here same place, same time
Mhm.
a week from
Next
now.
week, talking about purpose. Why do you want this vision that you say you want?
All
Yeah.
right. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye, everyone.